Welcome to Make Something with me, David Picciuto, and today we're going to do a fun little project you can do with the kids. Check. I think today is going to be a quick, fun project that you could do with kids. We're going to do some string art. I got this book here from Springhouse Press. This just happens to be my publisher, and there's some cool projects in this book. But today we're going to draw our hands, or we're going to draw your kids' hands, or we're going to draw some hands today onto a piece of paper and then transfer that to wood. Now, if your kids are old enough, they can hammer the nails into the wood. If they're not old enough, you can do that for them. There's another option that I wanted to show you, is this insulation foam that you can get from the home center. I don't want to start another internet debate, but I'm not sure if this is pink or purple, but you can take a nail and just push it into there, and that's going to be plenty strong for string art. So that is another option. But today we are actually going to use a piece of wood. We're going to use an actual piece of a tree. Yes, I know wood is from a tree, but we're going to use a piece of tree from the yard for this project, which if you're doing this at home and you have a branch fall down, or you need to cut a tree down, and you can save a little chunk of that and then draw your child's hand on there, what a great way to remember a tree that was in your yard and to capture your child's hand in that moment in time. So I have a piece of tree in the closet here. It's buried. Of course, it's buried. Dan's not here to help me. He's still not allowed over here. Otherwise, I would have Dan get it out, but here I go. So let me go find the piece of tree that I need. That's it right there. We're going to cut a slice off of this. Once we remove that slice, that's going to be called a cookie, which is perfect for this project because I'm hungry. I'm fortunate enough to have a bandsaw large enough to do this. If you don't have a big bandsaw like this, basically your other option is to use a handsaw, which can be done. It's a little bit of work. Or if you're really good with a chainsaw, you could look at that. That looks good. Perfect. I've decided to sand mine down. You can leave it as is if you want to. If you're going to put a coat of finish on there, now's a good time because it will be very, very difficult later. I'm just going to use some of this wax. It's called Oldies oil. I might brush on a little bit of epoxy on all the edges when we're done. We'll see. I like winging it. I like seeing where the project's going to take me. So I'm going to take this paper, I'm not sure if that's pink or purple, and trace my hand on here. So now I'm just going to place this on there. I want the hand to come all the way off the board. So now we just start pounding nails right along that line. I'm using these wire nails from Home Depot. I also found these black ones. They're a little bit thicker and a little bit longer. Depending on the material that you're using, maybe this is more suitable for what you're trying to do. But I think I'm going to go ahead and use these smooth shanks. And I don't know, what's that? About a ½ inch, maybe a little less between each nail. I couldn't resist drawing a little turkey on there. I haven't done that since 11th grade. But now we can take the paper off. It didn't take that long. We're going to follow the outside of the sapwood here and put nails all around there. And this will be the negative space. The hand will be the negative space, and we'll do the string between this border and this border. So once again, whole bunch of nails. And just a couple more. That took about 10 to 15 minutes. Not too bad. I only hit my thumb 3 or 4 times. So check that out. So now, oh, that one's crooked. That one is way crooked. What's up, buddy? Dan must have did that. So now we're just going to take some string and we're going to go back and forth in a crisscross pattern and just keep going all day until we fill this in. But before we do that, we're going to take the string and we're going to go around the border. This will define the image and define the border a little bit more. So this is some red crochet thread. Crochet. I don't know where it starts. I wish I would have paid attention to knot tying in Cub Scouts. So chop that off right there. And so, there go my scissors. And I'm just going to weave in and out. Around the whole border. So now that we have our border defined, I think it's just random here. We're just going to go up there. We'll go down here, maybe. We'll go up here. We'll go down here. Come on. Every time we go down here, we lose it. We'll go up here. We'll go over here. There we go. And then over here, and here, and here, and here. We'll just keep doing this random pattern for a long time. I was getting really close to being done, and I was wrapping this around one of the nails and pulling it tight, and the string broke. So I think I'm gonna call it there since the string broke, but that's pretty darn cool. Check that out. So to end this, whoops, I got a little bit of slack here. How can I fix this? I don't wanna break the string again. I think what I'm gonna do is just take a little bit of CA glue, which is super glue, if you're not familiar with CA glue, and crazy glue, super glue, crazy glue, and just glue it in a place that you won't see. Super glued in there. We'll cut off that extra, and I mean that's it. If that was your kid's hand, you can hang that up on the wall. Put a little bit of hanging hardware on the back. I got some bark on here, so I think I'm gonna brush on some epoxy just so that doesn't flake away, because as you can see, it'll just, yeah, you don't want that. So you can either remove the bark and have that edge, or epoxy that bark. This is epoxy from Total Boat. This is not sponsored, but it's just what I happen to have on hand, and it always works. So we're going to use this, and I'm just going to brush it on the edges. So this part's going to be really shiny. It's going to harden that bark and keep it all on there. It's just going to let it drip right on that paper. Let's get messy. Kids like to be messy. I'm basically a kid. I like to be messy. Well, would you look at that? Pretty quick and easy project. Fun thing to do with the kids, captures a moment in time. Something you could do with any piece of wood that you have lying around. Like I mentioned before, if you don't want to hammer in a bunch of nails, you can get some of that pink purple foam insulation stuff and just poke the nails in. Speaking of the nails, you're going to want to make sure that you get a nail with a head on there. Otherwise, all that string is going to pop off while you're working on that, and that would be very frustrating. I think the next time I do something like this, I want to get way more complicated. If you have a laser cutter, you could laser engrave the little dots where the nails are supposed to go for your pattern. Or if you have a CNC, you could have a small drill bit or end mill plunge down and kind of pre-drill all the holes for you. I think the next time I want to do this, I want to get a little bit more complicated and use different color string and maybe have different patterns. Instead of doing the randomness that I did here, maybe they all go in a certain way, or they create a certain pattern, or they flare out or do something. So if you have any ideas for the next one where we get a little bit more complicated, let me know down in the comments. Well, that wraps it up. As always, be safe, have fun, stay healthy, and make something.